Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live and back at it again, folks. Welcome to the Wrestling for Life Network. I hope everyone out there is having a happy, healthy, and safe holiday. Merry Christmas to all and every other celebration you're having. I hope everyone's doing well. We are happy to be back at it with your AEW World's End preview and predictions. Lots to talk about, lots to get into, lots to discuss here tonight. It's going to be a fun one, folks, so strap in. Strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel good, and let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We are live and back at it again, folks. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. This is another live show, and we're ready to go as we bring you your preview and predictions for World's End, the last pay-per-view of the year that we will cover, the AEW or anyone else is going to offer, I do believe, other than the indie ones. But nonetheless, we will be here for all of it tonight. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to dive into the card and everything that is about to happen, what could happen. Me and these two pretty faces are going to take you through it all tonight. It's going to be a good one. But without further ado, I will remind everybody out there, I am Mr. Everynight KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. That is Ringsider Anthony. That is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube Tag Stream Champions of the World. Tag Stream Trios champion, sorry, the chapeau that runs the show, Ringsider Anthony, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. I'm Nick, and I was going to say we're back and better than ever, but, you know, I'm already stumbling out the gate here with the words. So, how we doing, folks? Happy holidays. Still working over the cookie coma here.
Doing good. Glad to be here for another stream. Got AEW World's End happening this Saturday. I'm actually somewhat looking forward to a AEW pay-per-view, but does it press me to buy it? I don't know.
Well, we will be buying it. We will be watching it. It shall be interesting. Lots of intrigue going into this one for a lot of different reasons. Like a lot of AEW pay-per-views in 2024, a lot of mixed emotions, mixed feelings as far as the build to get here, or did they put together the best card possible? But there's definitely quite a bit to dig into, Nick.
Oh, absolutely. This is, let's be all honest here, 2024 has not been exactly a banner year for AEW. So they very much need to stick the landing here. This is the end of 2024. They need to stick the landing. They need to really deliver. Not been the greatest build for this and everything like that. Been heavy on the Continental Classic, obviously, and everything. The world title, again, we brought it up. We haven't seen it in a month or so now here. So we need to actually stick this landing to close out 2024 on a good note to have a good leap into 2025.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. And I mean, do keep in mind, last year's World's End was not a good one. That's it. They left us on a, MJF drops the belt. We get the reveal of the double in lackluster fashion. It never bled into or really led to anything, even though a little bit later we are going to talk about the payoff match, perhaps.
This is becoming, and shout out your t-shirt and everything, 100% coming soon to the merch store, folks. Hashtag Jared Hogan, 100%. This man popped both of us with surprising us with this shirt here today and everything. But MJF is becoming my Chris Jericho with you, like how you have Jericho and AEW. I'm just getting so goddamn disappointed in everything. Look, you were supposed to be the chosen one.
It looks like his fire just has dimmed. It's not there anymore. I feel like he had this over the top heel character that everyone loved, and now he's just kind of dialed back a little bit.
He's gotten really soft, and it's been unfortunate because he was really edgy and he really pushed the envelope for a long time. I think two big things happened. One, he's been in and out, whether it was injuries or filming stuff. And again, it's not his fault that he's in and out. But maybe if he's going to be out, he's just not in a storyline. A lot of the pre-taped screen arguments that they had in promo segments didn't do a lot for it. The other part is this has been such a mess of a story, right? Like the double storyline was voted by a lot of people, including Observer fans, that, one of the worst stories of 2023. And you double down to 2024. Bad guy, good guy, in between, Nick, a mess.
That's what I think really it is it's ultimately, I think the bad booking just finally got him. It finally caught up to him. He couldn't outrun it anymore and everything because 2024, he was supposed to be the flag bearer. He was the flag carrier. Remember when we were all so excited for the bidding war of 2024 over MJF and everything and how quickly that fucking failed and everything. It's crazy to think that we're talking about the same guy who has potential match of the year candidate and everything earlier on in the year and everything, then gets dragged back into this. And it's just, you were so much higher than what we were. You could have been so much, and now you've fallen to, I don't almost want to see you. Like, I know what it's going to be. It's just slapstick comedy at this point and everything. And did Christian doing the whole I'm your father kind of take a little bit of MJF's edge a little bit because doing the same thing? And then a little bit when MJF was out is when Christian really kind of took off with that.
In a way, it did kind of. I feel like Christian kind of took over that top heel role a little bit. The dad thing was hilarious at the beginning. Now it's just like not.
Yeah.
But I think Christian did take a little bit of heat off of MJF because he kind of stepped into that role himself.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I think even in Christian's little bit, it's kind of gone south. And again, I think part of that is the storytelling that comes with it. Of, I mean, does anyone, the whole hook thing? We'll figure that out. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not as it once was.
Yeah, well, we got a whole card still to talk about. We got to try and be positive here at the gate. We'll talk about the rest of MJF here later on. But yes.
I mean, that's the one thing. We are excited to see where this goes, even if getting here was a little clunky. But you are right. So we can jump into the first of two semifinals that were made official last night. So Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay. I'm shocked it's not the final, but I'd see how you guys feel.
I think it makes sense. I think this is wrapping up this whole feud here a bit and everything. And shout out everybody in the chat, by the way. Welcome back. I think Kyle Fletcher is very much going on, and as everyone else has pointed out, his Randy Orton, like early 2000s kind of reign of terror here with the shaved head and the tattoos and the drape over DDTs. So I think these guys go in opposite directions after this. So I think this is a good way to kind of end this feud here.
I don't understand the Tony Khan when it comes to having main stories intertwined with a tournament. We've seen it earlier this year with Chris Statlander and Willow. Like they met in the tournament after their feud started, and I feel like that match was wasted in the feud, and then it kind of dwindled the feud down. So last night when I watched Dynamite, I don't understand the Continental Classic and the numbers and the math and the addition and the subtraction, but when Ricochet did beat Ospreay, and then later on in the night it was announced that Ospreay will be facing Kyle Fletcher, I was like, why in the tournament? Why couldn't this? Why did it have to be in the tournament like you did with Willow and Chris Statlander, which was really good in the heat of the summer until we got to the Owen Hart tournament and they were in it and they faced in it. So I think it's kind of shoddy to have this be in the tournament. Am I excited for the match though? Absolutely, because it will be great.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I thought this would be the finals. I thought you were going to set up the finals. It's one of your better rivalries. Two of their matches already could probably be debated for match of the year, and you have a chance to really do like that third match, the final blow off of this whole feud, and you're going to do it in the semifinal. So, if Fletcher loses, what does it do to Fletcher? What happens for Fletcher taking an L? Ospreay's taken 2 losses in this tournament, which blows my mind. So, I mean, it's a tough spot. I don't love booking this as a semifinal. To me, whatever the final ends up being, whether it's Okada or Ricochet versus one of these two, it's going to pale, I think, in comparison to what these two do in this match.
Well, could it be also because they're going to be fresh going into it? And like, what match would you guys do besides it? Like for the semifinal, what Ospreay semifinal match do you have? Like, so you would do what, Ospreay Okada, Fletcher Ricochet? Because there's some people that think Ospreay Okada is going to be the final because that's going back to New Japan Classic.
Yeah, and it could be very possible that's the outcome. I don't know. Again, I think that for me, the most exciting match, I mean, Osprey Okada. Okada hasn't done a lot for me. And again, it's still confusing whether or not Okada's still the champ. Did he relinquish the belt? Does he have to win the tournament? Does he get a rematch? I have no idea how any of this plays out. I think for my money, I would have set up Fletcher, Ricochet, Osprey, and Okada. There you get your classic match, and then it all ultimately pays off with the third and final dust up between Kyle, and especially if Kyle went over Osprey in the finals, it would do so much good for him.
Fair enough, Anthony.
I don't know, at the top of my head, I don't know which match I would choose over this one. I think my biggest issue is it being a storyline in the middle of a tournament. So if it was, I do see KJ's point, like if it was the actual finals, I would be okay with it because you got the end of the tournament and the end of the feud potentially all in the same match. But having it in the semifinals to me takes away from the feud itself. But I don't have a match in mind where I will replace these two. I don't know if I think Osprey and Ricochet, are they in the same league? I think they may be in the same league. But if they weren't, I would potentially have that at the end. I don't know.
Fair enough.
So
Do you
okay.
think that whoever wins this match, whoever you predict wins the tournament, like would you not do you want Osprey going with the Continental Classic and everything? I think he could bump up to the world picture. Like probably should.
Do you think Ricochet needs it the most?
I
Yep.
think Ricochet wins. After watching Dynamite last night, I think Ricochet
I
gets
got a
the whole
whole
thing.
theory, my guy. I'm waiting. I got a whole theory with all of this. To me, I've got how this makes sense and how this works out.
Well, before we get to the next match and kind of keep with that theory, what's our official pick on this one?
Osprey.
I'm gonna take Kyle Fletcher.
Wow. I'm going Osprey. 62% of the chat as well. Yeah, I got Osprey. I mean, he already took 2 L's, man. He takes a third in this tournament. What do they do with Osprey? Does he have does he take some time off? Like, what do you do? I mean, this is the guy that should be the face of the company, and he's taking L's left, right, and center.
Well, and he's the only true babyface in this tournament still left and everything. So if he's not in the finals, then you have what? Kyle Fletcher versus Okada, Kyle Fletcher versus Ricochet, who's kind of becoming a heel. You need at least a babyface there.
Yeah,
That's true.
All right. Like I said, 62% of the chat going Osprey. So, I mean, not a heavy favorite, but definitely people leaning that way. And once again, hello to the chat out there. Hope everyone's doing well. It's a pleasure to be back. I know we didn't run through our usual roll call, but we will be back tomorrow for SmackDown Saturday, 6:30 p.m. We go live with World's End. It's going to be a fun one, so make sure you be a friend, tell a friend, and get your predictions in as well. We'll keep putting the polls up. So 2 going Osprey, 1 going Fletcher on the opening match. So not bad. But we do have the other side of this, and Nick, you seem pretty eager to dive into some of this. So what you got?
This is to me how this works out and everything is you get Ricochet goes over Okada. You set up Osprey versus Ricochet 3 and everything. And also, do we really think Okada's going to do double duty on this card and everything like that? All due respect to Okada and everything, but he's a guy that I don't exactly think he'll have a better match having a second match than he will in his first match. So
That's never stopped.
I think we have Okada go under here. We're still cementing Ricochet being a heel character and everything. I think this ultimately could lead to him being in the Hurt Syndicate and everything. But you get Osprey versus Ricochet 3 guys that'll still have a better match even later on in the card. Because I don't think this main events. I still think the world title main events.
Oh, yeah.
And I do think you get Kenny Omega comes up, gets in Okada's face, what have you. That's where he comes back after Okada's defeated, what have you. It's his way to go back at the Elite. Okada replaced him in the Elite and everything. You go back to Kenny Okada, New Japan, you reintroduce Kenny. It's not for a title. You don't want Kenny around the Continental Classic Championship and everything.
Okay.
And I don't know, you can throw him right into the world title. So I think it works. It covers all your bases. It's the best way you could do this.
Like, I saw a couple comments in the chat, and I'm kind of there. Like, I'm kind of tired of the New Japan stuff. Like, I kind of want this company just to work on itself. Like, I don't care that Ospreay and Okada had an amazing series of matches over the last handful of years, but are they, are they the same? Like, does it really move the needle the same way it would over there? Like, if they went and had a rematch in Japan, I'm sure it would do wonders, but I don't know if it helps the company that much at this point.
But you can tie the Kenny Okada story into AEW because again, he's the one that they replaced him in the Elite with and everything like that.
Yeah.
So you can get back, you can finally start to tie that thread together too as well. And like I said, you get Ricochet cements himself more as a heel. He doesn't have to get hit in the huevos with toilet paper anymore and everything. I think he ends up going with the Hurt Syndicate after he wins the Continental Championship and everything. And like I said, you button it with Ospreay versus Ricochet 3, which those two guys having double duty on the pay-per-view, I think can still have just as good of a match on their second match as they do in their first match. Like Ospreay versus Fletcher could be as good as Ospreay versus Ricochet on the same night.
Okay.
I do have Ricochet actually winning the tournament over the past, so we've had Collision, we had Dynamite, and Ricochet's really kind of taken off in a way. Still is terrible on the mic, but in-ring ability cannot be debated at all. But if you want to give Ricochet that big win, that big moment, I take Ricochet winning this entire tournament. Over the past 2 weeks, I've seen how excited he is, how the energy is around him per se, not the crowd, but around him, and how he's kind of developed and changed just a tad bit. And I've actually kind of been behind him a little bit. So Ricochet taking the Continental Classic, taking the win, taking the championship, I don't see anything that's wrong with it. Now, after might be something. I don't know how he's going to fare well as a champion and trying to cut a promo at the same time, but we could see. I don't know.
Toilet paper.
Okada isn't exactly known as being a promo wizard, so
what do you mean, bitch?
Right, exactly. If he can get past that, I mean, Ricochet might have a shot. I mean, that's an interesting take. I think Ricochet wins this match. I don't think he wins the tournament, but we'll talk about that when we get ahead.
Fair enough. But I've laid my...
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I've laid my groundwork. I've I've booked my fantasy.
There you go. Throw more toilet paper, Ricochet. Ricochet should 100%. The last thing we should really dig into on this is he should lean heavy into this whole heel vibe.
Yeah.
He should just keep being a dick. And maybe that's why he wins this. Maybe Anthony's onto something. That Tony loves those disturbers out there. He's like, oh, look, Ricochet's one of us. He's out tweeting up a storm. Like, and then they start pushing the guy. Like,
And it works, and it feels. I know he's not great on the mic or anything at all. They're doing the stupid Jada laugh and shit like that. But yeah, no. But getting the crowd to naturally be throwing, toilet paper at this man, and Rico. Now, granted, it questions, has the Twitter antics been him trying to do the character, if that's him or it's the character, what have you, but it's worked. I think it's gotten him over as just that smarmy, that I actually dislike you, like what we were talking about before with MJF, of not just you're supposed to be the bad guy in wrestling, but I actually dislike you.
Yeah.
I don't know if what he's doing on Twitter is actually helping him. I know I think it is his character.
It's making people dislike him.
So he really got roasted today he really got roasted today by Twitter user 12345. Called him out from his promo skills. He said his promo skills suck on TV and on Twitter. And then I kind of just died laughing at that point. But yeah, I don't think it's working for him. It's working to get him heat because people, dislike him, but it's not helping his skills at all.
Well, yeah, lean into it then. Be that guy. If they're gonna start throwing toilet paper at you, man, they're chanting his girl's name more than they're chanting his name. Like, that's an issue.
He's the Dom Mysterio. Should they sit there and if you're Tony Khan, do you try and sell Rico shit toilet paper?
Oh,
if you don't, Tony, we will. So who's gonna get to it first?
Right. So official picks: Ricochet.
There
you go. No love for Okada here. The chat going 53% Ricochet. So
see him doing double duty though too.
That's everyone's
part that plays into it,
right? The chat did go almost 50-50 on this one. So
oh shit.
They're neck and neck, 53% going to Ricochet. But again, I think a lot of people's theory is like, is Okada going to work that hard? Is he really?
Speaking of not working hard, Mercedes Monet versus Stat, the TBS Championship 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Right.
I would hope that if there's a God, that they give this to Chris Statlander. Like, please just give this to Chris Statlander. Now, I do want to say the match they had at the last pay-per-view, I think was Full Gear, if somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Okay,
right.
That was great. That was probably Mercedes' best match since joining AEW. But I said it in the video that I posted and that KJ put up on the channel a couple of months ago that it takes two to tango, and Mercedes Moné is incapable of carrying a match with a lesser talent than her. And it took two to tango in that Full Gears match. That's why it turned out to be one of the best Mercedes Moné matches in AEW. I feel like this will be a great match as well. I'm gonna just put it out there that I want Chris Statlander to win, and I'm gonna take her for the victory.
Man, listen, and again, you kind of right with the idea, and a part of me wonders if that's why they ran this one back. Like, oh shit, she had a really good match with Stat, do it again. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of moving on to someone else and maybe not they already know that this works. They got a formula. I don't know how you feel, Nick.
Well, we got Anna Jay on TV instead of what we thought that was where this was going. And instead we're going back to Stat, which Stat feels weird in this a little bit of, you might be both onto something of just run it back, run the same play, Spider 2, Y banana, all of that shit. Because it's just, Stat dropped this belt, then came back all the way around full circle, looked like she was going for the world title and is now closing it out here and everything. Ran through Willow, that got all weird, and we're just back here where we started. So you did a whole lot of something for nothing. So it's got to be just, we ain't got shit else for you. We ain't got shit else for you, so here you go. Just be glad they're not trying to do this with Jericho.
But this is, I kind of think like these are your missed opportunities where someone like Stat got herself over. Kind of changed her look, her vibe from being like Space Girl, and the fans really like her. And like you said, she dropped the TBS title, and all this time later, she's back where she started. And again, I think the vast majority of us believe that Mercedes is going to retain, whether we hope it or not. She's a heavy favorite in this one. So, this is the little examples of Tony's booking the wrong people, and it's turning fans off.
Well, I'm gonna go for it. I guess. Sorry, Anthony. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I absolutely agree with you, and it makes me wonder why WWE never gave Sasha Banks that long title run, right? And you can see she got the long title run in AEW, and it just hasn't worked out, So she probably is the heavy favorite to win, and probably is going to retain on Saturday night, but as you continue to book the wrong people, it continues to turn people off from the product.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts because we know the talent that's really there. But again, they had arguably Mercedes' best match in the company. If they can recreate that, add a little more spice to it, it should be a really decent match come Saturday.
But is it going to have less spice or more spice, seeing how the last one was actually built to? This kind of just seems like the end of the thing or whatever. Like, do we see a Camille pop in and get involved in this or anything? Because it's at this point, either Camille gets involved here or she's out, dog. Like, I don't know what else you do with her.
You can have Camille come in and actually cost Mercedes the title. If you want to make it real interesting, you can kind of have that happen.
Interesting. I could see Mercedes winning and Camille shows up after. Tony loves the aftermath.
Yeah, but we need to fix these problems, Tony. We need to rehab this. Like we said, of 2024 hasn't been exactly an interstellar year, so we need to stick the landing here on this fucking missile coming back home here. I'm with Anthony. If that's literally what I thought when I was bringing her up and everything. If Camille comes out, interferes, helps, Stat win the belt here and everything. I think Sasha, Mercedes, and WWE just had more she had the bumpers around her and everything, like the little kid that sucks at bowling, a little bit. So in AEW, the fucking training wheels are off. So maybe that's the thing is if Mercedes drops this, does she go towards the world title? Like, where does she go after this?
Please, not the world title.
Right, but then what does she do? Like, is this just I appease you, I give you this, you can just do whatever here just because golf, I'm not going to use you anywhere else?
No, I think she's going to hold on to this TBS title for quite a while for that reason. I mean, I feel like they've set up Tony and Thunder Rosa now for Mariah May, so that's the next little bit. I don't think she's going to, unless she drops the belt, goes away for a little bit, comes back, like everyone kind of does the AEW holiday post big match. So, I mean, again, I don't. I would love for Stat to win this. I think Stat's a very talented woman, but she's taking the L. So Sasha's not going anywhere.
I want to take Stat just to go with my heart and everything. And the whole Camille shows up and Camille's not done. And they didn't completely botch Camille signing there and everything of that. There's still some hope that they can at least maybe do Mercedes and Camille after this. And Mercedes can quickly work her way back towards the title and everything. She just drops it for a little bit, what have you. But yeah, I would like some change, please. That's all I would like. It's just some change, just a breath of fresh air amongst this fucking title.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my choice of Chris Statlander. I'm with Nick with wanting to see a little bit of change in that TBS title picture. It's probably not gonna happen, but I'm gonna just stick to my guns. Chris Statlander wins.
There you go. So Mercedes stat 62% in the chat going Monet.
And they're probably right, to be honest. This is, the little prediction that could, I feel.
Right. And again, not a heavy favorite. I mean, 60% is pretty solid. But again, I mean, I think there's a lot of people hoping for the same thing, hoping for change. And again, that's not like trying to force our booking desires. It's just, again, we want to cheer for the right people. And we're not interested in anything Mercedes is doing right now.
She's the epitome of what we've talked about with why maybe to some people Cody doesn't work as a champion, because you never feel like she's truly at a threat to lose the belt or anything, or to be in a weak position. And so when that's played out over an entire year almost, I feel like you're really fucking sick of it at this point. Like, just make it at least seem like she could actually be beaten. Like, make it believable. Get a fucking story going that it feels like she could actually be on the back foot with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least Cody Rhodes can have great matches, though. So,
I was trying to give her some credit, damn it. She had one good match. We bring it all around. This is all based on the one good match she did have.
No, 100%. But this is an interesting comment as far as what if Mercedes and Deonna and Taya.
Oh no! Please leave Mercedes away from Deonna Purrazzo. Just don't do it. That's all I have to say. Don't do it.
You have what are they? The Vendetta now, La Femme Nikita,
right?
With Mercedes, like. Again, she has to keep having ancillary insulation around her and everything, which I mean, you normally would have with a heel character, but like, yeah, quit trying to Jericho and drag people down with it. You quit being the anchor.
Yeah, right. No, again, and I don't know. It's very interesting. We'll see how this works out, but it seems pretty obvious to most of us how this is all going to work out. But with all that being said, we do have an AEW women's title match as well. This one, very intriguing because of who's involved, and it might be another case of the fans really want something to happen and they're not going to get it. But Mariah May, Thunder Rosa.
My question is how did Thunder Rosa get to this? Because I'm lost.
Oh, this is like the linear championship kind of, explanation here a bit of, because we're going back to when Thunder Rosa had to leave as she was champion, didn't she? She vacated the title and everything, and then never went and actually truly challenged back for it again, and all of that once she, lost it, vacated it, and then she's come back, and it's just been all fucking. She's been out there with the signs and everything. She's been trying to come at for her, but this was after she's already had the feud with Taya and Deanna, who we were talking about earlier. Of this has just been a lot of convoluted. I feel like Charlie Day with the fucking push pins and string, trying to bring this shit all back together to make it make sense.
Yeah, I mean, again, it looked like we were gonna build up Mariah May, Thunder Rosa. Kind of, because Thunder Rosa was heckling her and holding up the signs, as you talked about. And then Tony came back. No, Tony has amnesia in one of the dumbest things they've ever
Or is
done.
she acting? Is she acting? Is she the greatest actor out there? I mean, timeless Tony Storm is an actor. She's of the theater. So could it all be a ruse?
That'd be really silly. I mean, just let her wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, it's realistically, it's still kind of silly, but yeah.
Bring your
I'm trying to make it work. I hate that you compare it to Wendy Chu, because
I'm just saying you can't hate on Wendy and give this love. You can't do both.
Yes, I can. I can like vanilla ice cream and hate chocolate ice cream.
Oh, this is like hating one half of the ice cream container and loving the other half. Like you can't. It's all in the same boat.
Is it because I think Tony Storm's more talented in ring than Wendy Chu?
Maybe. I mean, again, and I would agree with that, but I think the overall gimmick. Anyway, I mean, again, back to the point. It feels like Mariah May and Tony Storm is the end game here. I think, and maybe it is a ruse. Like all of a sudden, she remembers and beats the shit out of Mariah, or she bumps her head again. Like apparently, head injuries are so common in AEW. You have people like Tony and Jericho just waking up with new personalities overnight. Like, oh, I just woke up. I'm an idiot. This is great. But Mariah
that's
May,
the lobotomies that they do at Daly's place and everything. You just get Homer Simpson out there looking at Ned. What the hell are you smiling about?
Right. But yeah, I mean, again, I think this is going to be a great match. Mariah May can go. Thunder Rosa can go. Huge fan of Thunder Rosa. I mean, I think that Mariah's a heavy favorite because of the storyline. But I mean, we could be wrong.
I think this has got to be Mariah May. I mean, I see 444 saying that Mariah May's reign's been lackluster because it feels like it's just kind of gone instantly back towards Tony and what have you. But I don't know how you gentlemen feel.
I easily feel like Mariah May is winning this. That's obvious from my first question of how did we get to Thunder Rosa, because I just didn't know.
Yeah.
But Thunder Rosa is underutilized talent. She is so talented in the ring. And when AEW first started and she had her feud with Britt Baker and things of that sort, all of that was cool, all of that was nice to see. And it's like ever since then, I know she was riddled with injuries, but it seems like some of the backstage stuff that happened with Thunder Rosa just kind of like overshadowed what she can really do in that ring. And then she came back, and the program with Deanna was nice, but it was primarily featured on Collision, which not a lot of people watch. I just feel like Thunder Rosa is just an underutilized talent in AEW.
Huge. Now, is anyone surprised that it became a Tijuana street fight?
No. We needed some sort of stipulation here. We don't have any other ones, and I feel 100%. Tony loves his stipulations, absolutely. So I'm glad that this is the only match that has the stipulation. And it's the only way that you can, I feel, you have Anthony out there asking, how do we even get here? So it's a way you can add excitement into this match, even though it's pay no mind to the booking behind this. It's a Tijuana street fight. You're going to see two women hitting each other with kendo sticks. Let's go.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, does that open the door for Tony Storm to somehow get involved?
Yes.
Now, because of the amnesia, she befriends Mariah May and is subservient to her and helps her on the winning path.
You fuck off, because they'll probably do that, and you're going to really make me hate this. I'm trying to. This is like the MJF and Adam Cole when they became best friends. Of like, it was kind of shit, but I liked it and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's just.
Right.
With all of this, and I will ask a question that I've seen Valiant about earlier today of, do you think AEW needs a brand split going into 2025? with all the titles that they have, if this was Thunder Rosa was a champion on Collision, Mariah May was a champion on Dynamite, you split it up a little bit more. You keep them separate, what have you, and everything. You can go that way. They've got so many goddamn belts. They've got talent, and it might be a way to actually keep people from them just having feuds across every show.
Right.
I think the problem is if you do a brand split in AEW, that the storylines still are going to be trash. Let's just be honest. I feel like if they can work on the storyline aspect of AEW, maybe they can do a brand split. I actually like the fact that there is a wrestling show that doesn't have a brand split. Like, you can see multiple wrestlers on any of the shows any time of the week. But I feel like the main focus right now for AEW needs to be storyline driven, and then maybe we can talk about a brand split.
Yeah, no, I hate the idea just because the way the talent's utilized now. I mean, again, it makes me very concerned that each show would get very redundant, very repetitive. They have so much talent, so I'd really like them to do like one really, really good show with all the talent they have, and then maybe you feel a little more confident about them doing something like a brand split. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, they kind of tried that, and then the whole CM Punk thing happened.
Right.
Could it spice up the shows a little? Yeah, but I think there's so many egos backstage that are like so worried. I mean, when Punk took over Collision, there was clearly, people within the company rooting against it. Like, that's fucked up.
It is an extremely interesting idea. Like I said, I just wanted to throw it out there and everything because it's a really good conversation piece, I feel, and everything. Because I mean, they kind of already have one with Ring of Honor, but Ring of Honor for a while it really bled into AEW television and everything. So it gets a little murky, and it's a great concept, but you're expecting that they're going to run it how you would do it versus how they do it already.
Yeah, true. 72% of the chat taking Mariah May. I'm taking Mariah. You both took Mariah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Sorry, Thunder. We love you, but it doesn't look like a good one. Yeah, I quickly can touch on Damien's comment, but yeah, Jack Dane passed away. You and I have covered Dane on multiple occasions live. Yeah, man, a hell of a talent, and it's sad to hear him go. I don't know the full circumstances, but yeah, it was very sad to hear.
Yeah, and seeing anybody pass or anything, especially around this time of year and everything, where it's all about family and everything like that, it just really it's can stick in your craw. It sucks.
Right. DJ, we'll come back to that. But yeah,
I think it's great. I think it's fucking great.
Well,
I want a Ricochet autographed toilet paper roll. That's what I want next year for Christmas.
Right. Well, speaking of things that could either be, a Christmas gift or need toilet paper, MJF versus Adam Cole.
Let me adorn myself with TP.
There you go. The Dynamite Diamond Ring. This has been interesting. I mean, again, even the rules to the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal changes from year to year. So they're going to fight over the ring, guys. How do we feel about it?
I really hope to. Sorry. Yeah, that's literally exactly what I was about to say. I was like, please, for the love of God, let this be the end of this. I'm hoping for MJF to win this as it's some sort of a reset button on him. Steven, it's funny that you mentioned that because that's literally one of the things that I thought of, maybe Undisputed Kingdom, or at least the Kingdom of Taven and Bennett turn on Cole, which then again, I hope that they don't continue this on of, I think you just do this. This ends now. You mentioned this earlier, KJ. This shit's been going on since 2023, and it was already losing steam then, and we ran it all the way through 2024. Mm-hmm. This horse is dead. I'm like the Simpsons meme. Stop. It's already dead. Like, just can end this already. It has destroyed both men because MJF feels like a watered down heel at this point, and everything he's pointing out about Adam Cole is true and accurate. So you've now killed both talent. You've fucking tope suicided both of them.
The Sarah McLachlan ad,
in the arms of an angel,
for Adam Cole was too funny. But man, did it point out how little and anemic.
It's the Karen Cross. This man's been body bagged twice in promos against him.
Like bad.
By people that succumb to bad booking and that are much better heels and much better talent than the booking allows them to be.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have seen Terrifier, but when Art the Clown is doing his due and he continues to just beat the living crap out of the person after they're dead, this is how the storyline is. Like they have beat this storyline until it's just completely crashed, burned, and died. And at no point, I don't even think this was really good. When they were tag team, the ROH tag team champions, maybe that was when it was great. It was at the top, but then right after the reveal of the devil, it just, yeah, and they've stopped and started it so many times, you forget like what happened before they stopped it. So just let it die. World's End needs to be where it ends, plain and simple.
I echo both of your sentiment, because I mean, I imagine if this match was happening in mid 2023, the fans would be going crazy for this match. We'd be on stream right now, like, can't wait for this one.
This would be main event.
Yeah, these guys are going to cook. It's going to be great. And, you know, here we are at the end of 2024. And I think a lot of people, even some of the more hardcore AEW fans that we know out there, the scarf carriers, aren't that excited at all. Like, it's crazy to think Adam Cole MJF is a meh match on a pay-per-view card. It blows my mind.
That you have one of the biggest talents and everything. Like, let's not forget, this was at one point your world title feud. This was at one point your world title feud. This was your whole backbone of your fucking booking and everything. And now it is literally the drizzling shits and everything. I, as a self-admitted MJF mark and a self-admitted MJF stan and everything, have no interest in seeing this. Of just please let it die. Just please, you do it or I'll do it. Pick one, because this fucker needs to end. Like, I'm hoping that MJF retains. That's my prediction. Because I feel like it's the closest thing to a halfway reset, restart, what have you with him, and it just ends all of this, and hopefully we can just move the fuck on.
Yeah, I mean, we expect so much from these two guys, but a lot of people have a theory that the Undisputed Kingdom are going to turn on Adam Cole, and now MJF's going to be the leader of the Undisputed Kingdom, I suppose. Maybe, I don't know. But
new pinnacle, new faction. Bring
I
back
don't know.
Wardlow. What?
Bring back Wardlow. Anybody seen Wardlow lately?
I think he might have been at the Performance Center.
Maybe outside anyway, waiting to get in. MJF's got to win this, right?
Does he? I don't
know.
I don't even know at this point, because to me it really doesn't matter who wins, because there hasn't really been anything interesting to make anyone seem like they need to win. I don't know.
You just think it doesn't matter? Like, just it's
to me it doesn't, because the feud hasn't mattered in 365 days.
That it's hard to
and that's the thing. Like, think about it. This was your, I believe, your main event, or up there in the main event of All In and everything. And now it's become, almost dare say, this could be opener, it could be 0 hour, what have you, for World's End, closing out 2024. How the mighty have fallen. Like, I know everyone likes to throw around the term fumble and everything, and I hate it so much. But it has 2024 been the biggest fumble with MJF. Of, you had the guy that going into it through 2023 was out there, the bidding war of MJF of fire me, you fucking mark, and then builds himself up with the whole Adam Cole thing. You've almost got him. You pivoted somehow to make your biggest heel, your biggest baby face of the company, and now you barely even want to watch him.
Right.
I think that was well said.
And this is the guy wearing the scarf and the fake ring and everything like that, doing his best, you know, like MDB said, Markwell Jacob Friedman out there.
Markwell, yep.
Yes, Markwell, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch over here.
Yeah, MJF is pretty much a lone wolf lately. He can manipulate a group, but MJF will always come on top at the expense of others. 100%. That's his character. That's really what he should do. Honestly, I'm kind of with Anthony of like, if the Undisputed Kingdom turned on Cole, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, it happened. It'd be like, all right, here we go. Here we go. Right? Like, oh.
Is there a way Cole wins this? Like, is this,
Yeah.
He slays the dragon and then, all of the power, Frodo's taken the ring from fucking Schmeagol and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The only way I do see this ending, so I guess this will be my prediction. I feel like MJF wins to just kind of settle this and leave it. I think if Adam Cole wins, I think it'll be another match down the line. I feel like it. I don't know.
It keeps going to like Revolution.
Right.
Oh. I wonder if MJF is regretting the AEW tattoo he got. No, he put it on his ankle. That covered up with a boot.
Yeah, that's why he put it on his calf. So he can just, every time he laces up his boots, ain't nobody got to see that shit.
You want to put it on your neck like someone I know. Put it on their neck. You really going to be AEW for life? Put it on your neck. No, you put it in your boot because you know you gone.
Spoiler alert, when we reach 10K subscribers, I'm not getting a fucking neck tattoo of our fucking logo. Not a goddamn bit. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not Cody Rhodesing.
Right? People with double mask showing up. That'd be interesting. Do you imagine all of a sudden, like, the crew comes out and, like, you're like, really?
No, because I'm sick of this bullshit already. The devil storyline has been dead and gone. We've taken that outside and taken it to the fucking woodshed. Quit digging up corpses and thinking that they're going to be cool the third time you dig them up.
Right. So is anybody going Cole?
I'm not.
I'm wearing a scarf, so I think that gives it away. I'm taking MJF.
I have to agree.
The reset button.
If Adam Cole wins, I don't know, man. Like, that throws me for a loop.
Adam Cole wins MJF and WWE by the end of 2025.
Folks, we will be here for bold predictions next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be a good one.
Segue.
Right. But moving forward, Takeshita defending his title against Hobbs.
Don't know how we got here.
Takeshita wins this, and I feel bad because, like,
I like
Hobbs is a talent. Hobbs is a guy that 100% should be like upper mid card, lower main events, and everything like that. But he's been on the bench, and I don't feel like there's enough storyline, what have you, going into this. This is the Callis family storyline on its own has been convoluted because you're all a bunch of heels, but you randomly turn to babyface and randomly don't like each other just because what you had someone that you ate your tuna sandwich in catering or something.
Yeah, pretty much. All of a sudden, just there it is. We're gonna
right.
And like you said, it's sad because we like Hobbs. Hobbs is good. But it just make me believe. I don't know if Takeshita loses. And if Takeshita loses, then what happens to Takeshita? He's been kind of quiet as of late. The guy can go. Hobbs, you're trying to build back up for like the 12th time. If he loses, then what? Like, I don't know how this one plays out.
It's crazy to me. Oops, sorry, go ahead, Anthony.
I was gonna say I don't even know how we got to this. Was it on Collision? Because I don't watch Collision. I've watched Dynamite consistently, so I don't even know where I don't know.
Fitting that KJ clicks on
and
the
I like
comment
that,
from Dawn here saying new idea for a shirt from Anthony. Don't know how we got here.
Don't know how we got here.
It's just Anthony in front of a map. But these are two guys that I feel could be, should be, hopefully will be by the end of 2025 in that main event world title scene within AEW. Like, if you want to build homegrown kind of stars and everything, these are two guys that you want to tune into, that are talent in the ring and everything like that, that don't have that ex-WWE funk that a lot of internet trolls are going to go at and everything. Yeah. So I hope nothing but the best for both of these guys, but this feels so lackluster for something that at one point was their top mid-card title and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think
What's crazy is Scott D'Amore gave Tony Khan a layup when he presented Ricochet and Takeshita on his Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling show. I think it was the second night, and they literally could have ran with that until the end of the year if it was done right in AEW. And then after they had their one-on-one match, Takeshita, we haven't really seen him. Like it just hasn't. It hasn't. He hasn't been on television that much. He hasn't been seen, and he was really kicking behind earlier this year. And it's sad. It really is sad that some things are just not followed through enough in AEW.
agree.
Yeah, there's Takeshita was having a feud at one point with Omega, who we thought, or
Right.
I brought up that could be showing up, on this card and everything like that. Like the man's been at the pinnacle. You were literally having this man pegged as the alpha to Kenny's Omega and all of that, and now I'm seeing, Vance in the comments and everything like that saying, "Is this the first time that Takeshita's defended the belt since he's had it?"
I don't think that's accurate.
Well, I don't know. That's why he even said fact checkers. We're even building up the fact checkers lingo.
Now I know he defended it against Ricochet.
Okay, well, is it within AEW? That was at Maple Leaf Pro.
No, that was in AEW. The layup for the storyline was set in Maple Leaf, but the match happened in AEW. Outside of that, the other match was, I believe, Josh Alexander, but that was on Maple Leaf, so I don't think we can count that one.
No, I guess we can sort of count it, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think that again, just the fact that we have to kind of debate it and think about it kind of shows you what they're doing with this gentleman. Like, I think there's so much opportunity. Another guy with a ton of talent that, if done right, he could really be something.
100%. He's got like home built world title contender right there. Like that's Hangman, all of that, of Swerve, right in that same kind of lineage to an extent of doesn't have quite the WWE vibe on him. And Takeshi's a super fucking talent. And then even Hobbs still too. I guess we're all taking Takeshi to retain here. Anyone taking Hobbs?
No, I can't. I gotta go to Takeshi.
But Hobbs still has just as much talent to be like a guy that's a huge powerhouse and everything like that. Like he's like, if you had the size of Brian Cage and the personality that Brian Cage doesn't have, that's Hobbs. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
According to a Wikipedia,
yeah,
his first defense was Ricochet.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, because he won it at Wrestle Dream and then he defended it at Full Gear against Ricochet.
Yeah, he beat Adam Cole in a non-title match, which made no sense, but we did it. And then Ricochet, twice he beat Ricochet, I thought.
Fair enough.
At least once. But again, are you not surprised that you didn't do more? Like, I know Anthony already touched on it, but that seems to be something you could have built for both guys, and it would have done really good. Takeshita, Ricochet. We got a couple matches on Dynamite. We never really built anything special.
Yeah, 100%. But that's, I guess, supplemental. We've got one with the Continental Championship and one with the International Championship.
Right.
They both have belts. Trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yeah, to me, that's a bit of a stretch. I don't know if they have that wherewithal. 59% of the chat taking Takeshita. I think all three of us are taking Takeshita. I mean, Hobbs doesn't feel like they're doing that with him. You know what I mean? Like, Hobbs doesn't have that vibe.
He doesn't feel built up enough. Not at all.
Dun, dun, dun. But, ladies and gentlemen, up next, this one's going to be a little more speculative. We already touched on it, but we do have the finals of the Continental Classic. I guess just remind everybody who you think will be in the final and then who wins it. And Nick, we're kind of
I think it's going to be Ricochet versus Ospreay 3, and then Ricochet is going over, and this pretty much cements him. Because I know they've goozled him and torn up the business card and everything like that, but I think he's the plucky kid that they just like to have around with the Hurt Syndicate. And again, Osprey, I feel, goes towards world title. Fletcher, I could see around with, you know, the Continental title, the TNT title, the, you know, international title, like we were just talking about. Maybe he flirts towards the world title and gets into that mix, upper mid card, what have you. Okada, I think they do something with Kenny. So Ricochet, I think it solidifies him being a heel and doing the best thing to where they're throwing toilet paper at him.
Right.
I think I picked Kyle Fletcher to beat Osprey, and then I said Ricochet was taking the tournament. So obviously in my finals it would be Fletcher and Ricochet. Osprey is, I feel like he's okay to take another loss. Like Osprey is always going to be that guy. Osprey is always going to be, you know, the guy you can lean on. So I feel like if Osprey takes a loss in the semifinals, I don't think it hurts him any less than where he is now. So, and I know he's beaten Kyle Fletcher twice. Can we give Kyle Fletcher a win? I know we're trying to build him up as a heel as well. So it might be good to kind of beat Osprey. I don't know, but I'm taking Kyle and Ricochet in the finals, and Ricochet taking the whole tournament.
Interesting. I mean, I think I touched on this earlier, but I think ultimately we get Osprey Ricochet again, and I think Ricochet took the last W, so I'm gonna go Osprey taking the W and actually winning this tournament. I don't know if I love it, but I mean it gives them something to do. And maybe, you know, Osprey wins, Ricochet jumps him and really digs into that whole persona. But I think that's where we're gonna go. I'm gonna go with it.
So Osprey's job in the AEW is just build up my mid card titles.
I guess so. I mean, again, it seems like they don't want to put him in the title picture. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, well, if he goes after Moxley, he's better than Moxley, so we'll just keep them miles away. So you signed this big deal. You make a big deal about signing Will Ospreay, and he's been in the middle of your show since you signed him. I don't get it, but that's what I think they might do.
It's still crazy that he's probably the best out of like those big three signings of like all in a row of him, Okada, and Mercedes. Like he's still miles ahead as the best signing that they've done
because he's so
but
good.
We're still, it's like even then of like you haven't done great with him. You've just done all right.
Right. If you add Jay White into that mix, I mean, he's kind of the guy, at least Jay White's finally near a title, right? Like
it only took like what, 3 years, 2 years?
No, yeah, I think
man had to get redshirted and have a rookie season too.
AEW is risking an injury in a semifinal and ruins the final plans. I'm okay with doing it. I'm like a big fan of the old King of the Ring and stuff. So I don't know if either one of you have a problem with them having two matches in the one.
No. Well, I think that's how I base some of my predictions on and everything. And I do really quickly like JV saying they're sending up Fletcher for Grand Slam in Australia, which is not a terrible thing to take into account.
Yeah.
We're all fans of Fletcher here. I know you guys were both more fans of him during the, you know, Osprey Fletcher match of why is this a semifinal, not a final?
Right.
And they're getting behind him. I mean, they're giving him the Randy Orton treatment. So yeah.
What if Osprey does win it, but they run Fletcher Osprey in Australia? And then
Fletcher for the title?
Yeah.
Fletcher goes over Osprey. So now you jobbed out Osprey even more. We gave you the belt just to turn around and lose it because hometown.
Maybe. I mean, if he feels like he's putting his friend over. I mean, him taking 3 L's in this tournament and 2 in the round robin's pretty tough as it is.
Well, what if you did Ricochet versus Fletcher in Australia and that just was a match that tore the fucking house down?
I think
versus a match that you can build up now all the way to it and everything. Well, but then again, fuck it, be heel versus heel. That's the only interesting thing. Or well, in Australia, Fletcher's the babyface. So there
you go.
They'll throw shoes at this man. New York City from toilet paper. This man, they'll be throwing shoes at him.
Already started at ABJ.
I did too.
But I never got into it, so I'm the oddball out.
All right, so your official pick is we got them out. The fans, I didn't take an official vote in the final for this one because it is speculative, but again, very interesting with who's going to walk away with this belt and how it pertains to 2025. But all that they've announced miraculously is 8 matches, this being the main event.
Let's not jinx it and hope that Tony adds more. Listen, Santa. Listen, Snow Globe, Tony Khan. You're doing good at 8. Stick to landing in 2024. Just get out while you can.
Right.
Just quit trying to do too much. You've already 24 has been a clatter. Just go out quietly. But I'm going Moxley.
I think Moxley makes the most sense here, but I'm gonna take Hangman because I'm sick of Moxley.
Anthony with the swerve. I'm like, oh, Moxley's. I don't want Moxley to win. I can't imagine that he would lose now. But at some point, you got to sit down, Mox, and go, listen, I know you think it's cool, but we got to show our world title on TV once in a while. Like, to me, it blows up.
With no rap sheet.
You see in the WWE, when they pull out their belts, they're in these gigantic trunks that look like they house a missile.
They treat it like Lord Stanley.
Right? And then, like, Moxie's got his belt in a little thin suitcase. Like, what are we doing? But I don't love the Death Rider shit is falling flat. They're not disruptors. They're not, like, what muck are they running? None.
They're just throwing muck at the screen.
Like every week.
They're monkeys throwing poo at the window.
We get these Dodge Ram commercials every week. Why are you in the desert?
Like a rock. Oh, like a rock.
Right? Like the Canyon Arrow.
No.
You guys are in New York City, but for some reason, Moxley's in the desert. What desert did he find in New York to do this vignette?
I saw it was, I don't know if it was on like Facebook or what social media platform it was. And it was that ad for All In, and it started off with them doing their, Canyon Arrow with all of them in the truck and everything. And the top comment was, I love this because I don't know if this is a commercial for wrestling, trucks, or cologne. It works across the board. I think Moxley's still got Darby in the tank. I've got that in the chamber. I was halfway thinking earlier today, even though I know it's mostly like an early spring, or early summer thing, of like this feels like blood and guts and anarchy in the arena type of we're building to this. But I also thought the idea of, I didn't realize it today, of come January 1st when they're in North Carolina, North Kakalaki, when you got FTR, and you might see Adam Copeland, Edge coming back soon. So when you get Moxley versus Edge,
it's highly possible. And I did hear that potentially Daniel Bryan would show up to help Edge as well, because he has an issue with the Death Riders, obviously. Yeah. Rumor, speculation, nothing proven yet. But again,
we were supposed to be vegan, and all we're eating is meat,
right? But I do feel like they have a lot of they feel like they're only beginning like Moxley's in the 3rd inning, but for better or for worse, Moxley's
still got Darby. I mean, we were out here for full gear and everything like that, and even still clusterfucked with that whole, ending to where Darby's just playing, smash him up and everything like that into their car and everything. Like, that's still a thing that needs to be finished out here. There's so much, too many balls spinning right now, I feel is really the case with this, of everything's going on, but nothing feels like it's going to reach a full conclusion.
Nothing connects.
Yeah, nothing has made sense since it all started, to be honest. And then Moxley talks in parables, which you have to decipher, and I don't have time for that. And then when he said he was taking over TBS, he came out and cut a promo. They all came out and cut a promo. And to me, that's when it really fell flat, because I think people were tuning in to see like an actual takeover of the show, not necessarily the channel, but of the show. And he came out and cut a promo, and we do that every night here. We talk every night, and literally that's what he did.
Yeah, he did the same things 4 other people did. Like, so did everybody take a turn hijacking Superstation? Like, what are we doing? And it's just fine.
There's so much here that could be really good if
Yeah.
you would actually like. You could just see the little tweaks and everything. It's almost one of those of I'm gonna see it, and it's gonna piss off AEW fans, but and when you try and get Eric Bischoff, and then your mom's like, "We got Eric Bischoff at home," and it's just Tony Khan. Of like
Ooh.
Moxley's gonna sit there and we're gonna take over TBS. You could have sat there and had it. It just cuts to static, and it's a shaky cam, and it's Moxley. You know, I am the Death Rider commander and everything.
Exactly.
All of that. When you see his face, you think of Death Rider.
Wait a minute, pause anyway.
Yeah, but still, you do something like that versus like, I'm gonna just do the same thing that everything I've done on every other show. Like we've gone to now, you have to quote it of saying, and John Moxley tried to poison a man. Like, what in the Game of Thrones is this shit? I know winter is coming is the fucking theme they use. It's not an actual thing, Tony. You don't have dragons.
He might. He's got a lot of money. Who knows? But Adam Page has a really good year for AEW. Could you reward that effort, reward that hard work by giving him the belt back, even if Moxley then chases him?
You revert back to everything that you've done. You just you might as well go back to him versus Swerve, everything. Which, by the way, I will say though, shout out to AEW, shout out to TNT and everything like that, to where during Christmas Day they had the Yule log of it was just Hangman in front of Swerve Chowder and Home on fire.
Yeah.
For like 12 plus hours and everything. That was actually solid. So you got a win for that.
There you go. Moxley retains. Jay White, OC, what if Orange Cassidy beats Moxley and Christian Cage comes out and fucks Orange Cassidy? Excuse me.
OC is my next pick out of everybody in this match. I didn't have to pick Moxley. Oh, he's the chosen babyface. He is the prodigal son. He is freshly squeezed Christ. He 100%. If there is someone that's going to win this belt out of this that has never won it before, it's going to be him. And I didn't even take into account the whole Christian thing because I don't take that seriously because they don't take it seriously.
I don't take that seriously at all. That was the best transition ever. I mean, I can't disagree with anything you're saying. The Christian thing.
Please do. I would like it.
does like Christian and what does that mean? Hook gets a title shot, the world title.
Just fuck off with Christian. Just fuck off with this title shot. Like, just honestly, forget it ever happened. Leave it in 2024. Tony Khan, the biggest takeaway from World's End that you need to take away from all of this is just leave some shit in 2024, my guy. Please, for the love of ever-loving Christ. Whatever deity you pray to, fucking leave some shit in 2024 because it's not helping you, my guy.
Moxley pins OC again. Honestly, man. I mean, but Orange Cassidy as world champion, does it work? Does Moxley stay in the chair?
It'll get Twitter going for 24 hours.
That's about it.
No, actually, probably 48 because you can have everybody that is just on the other side of the tribe throwing spears back that way and everything. Bunch of fucking speechers and just going back and forth at each other with these goddamn tribes and everything. AEW sucks. No, WWE sucks. Like, how about just watch the fucking wrestling? How about that?
Oh, it's too funny. No, I mean, on paper, we should be very excited about this match. Just the names involved. If you go back a little while, like you'd be like, this is gonna be fucking fun. This is gonna be cool. And again, there's still a little bit of that feel of like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really cheering for any of these guys that hard. Like, I'm just kind of like, I think Moxley's gonna win because I still think they're setting up Death Riders versus the Elite. That's what I think is the bigger picture.
Wait, hold the fuck on. So who's challenging Moxley for the world title? Jack Perry? Don't tell me it's going to be Jack Perry. I will fly to Canada to whoop your ass.
In their time away, are going to have an epiphany where they're going to do right by the company. They're coming back to save the. That's what they set up before. Like they were so selfish.
No one's going to like that.
They're going to They're all going to come back babyface, and it's
no one. No one already. Sorry, I know you want to finish your sentence, but no, it's not going to work.
That's what I think they're setting up. I think that's why they pushed so hard before they left. Of like, you guys are supposed to be EVPs and you're doing nothing. So they're going to come back and be like, they were right. We love this company. This is the best company in the world.
I can be your hero, Tony. I can super kick away the pain. No, I think they did it just so fucking forget about us. Please, just try and forget about us. Here's more slop so you forget about the slop you had last week.
Yeah, we've figured out the error of our ways, and we're here. We're coming back to save. Now, what are they saving now? Because AEW is not really in danger right now, guys.
Yeah, because the Dark Riders, the whatever they're calling themselves,
Riders in the
they're not doing anything to make AEW in danger.
It's in danger of failing in the ratings. That's for goddamn sure what's in danger of. It's in danger of losing its fan base.
Right. So ultimately, 63% of the chat's taking Moxley. Nick, you're taking Moxley?
I'm taking Moxley because Jay White and Hangman, I still feel like there's still meat on that bone. Have that be a feud, have that be something. OC is the odd man out with this of if it's not going to be Moxley, if I'm going to be Tony Khan, if I'm going to avatar as Tony Khan right now, Orange Cassidy is my world champion because Orange Cassidy. But I do think that Moxley wins. You still got to set up Darby. You still got to potentially get Adam Copeland when he comes back and everything. He might go after Moxley and everything. We've still got the FTR Death Riders angle going on. There's still more to this, and so I think we've just got more to Moxley.
Jay White is here to just make this a 4-way. Orange Cassidy, no. I don't want to see him with the world title. John Moxley, I'm over it. He's boring. He just it's not entertaining. If I was booking and I shouldn't book at all, just give this to Paige and let's just move on because I'm over it.
Give it to Paige, eh? For the reason I gave that I really think they're setting up Death Riders versus Elite, I'm leaning Moxley.
If this was Darby, would this be a better match?
Well, Darby made the most sense, and I don't understand. Darby was so enraged he drove a vehicle into another man's vehicle to try and take him out. And the next week, 3 days later, at Dynamite, they're in the same building, and neither one mentioned it. Like, it didn't matter. It didn't happen.
But don't worry. He slid brass knuckles to Commander in his pink coat onto the ring so he could knock out Claudio and everything, because that's the thing that matters and everything. Meanwhile, this guy also put his title shot on the line at Wrestle Dream and everything that he didn't have to, that no one told him he needed to. There was no provocation. That's not a word, but I said it. That led to this of Darby's been like, we've talked about it with like Mariah May and Tony Storm of like, that's already, we can see that's the outcome they're leading to. Darby Moxley's already at least an outcome that we know that they're leading to.
It's crazy though, and I think that's where we get mixed up as fans, is because like, imagine like during the CM Punk feud, like we have that big moment where, the gate opens up and Drew McIntyre beat the hell out of Punk, but at the pay-per-view, Punk's gonna fight Cody. We're like, why? I don't understand. We have this big moment. It should be linear, right? Like we stick to that storyline through the whole thing. So yeah, maybe Darby's in the mix, but Darby should be the match. Like, the guy tried to kill you. It should be the match. So running this back, I mean, it just overcomplicates it. I begrudgingly pick John Moxley. I really do.
I don't want to give Tony more matches, but I would rather see Hangman versus OC versus Jay White for number one contendership after, like, before we get Moxley versus Darby for the world title. Like, those to me are two better matches than this match is.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think a very close second. And I'm going to go OC wins. And as everyone's going banana sandwich because OC actually won, Christian Cage pops him. And we leave World End with Christian Cage, your new world champion.
I would be okay if Christian Cage cashes in on OC. I would be okay. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We talked about how we didn't like this guy in the feud he's currently in, but we're like, yeah, give him the world title belt. That 100% makes sense.
Well,
that'll get him the fuck over. That's perfect, right?
But somehow he has to cash in that thing. He has to, like, it's gonna be
throw it into the goddamn Mississippi River for all I give a shit. Throw it into whatever local source of water. Just flush that down a goddamn toilet. I'll start taking that shit seriously when they take it seriously.
Well, I mean,
it's a standoff. It's a fucking, shootout at the OK Corral, Tony.
Well, if he can find his pen, he'll be okay. I mean, that's step one.
Kip Sabian just keeps taking it. The fucking drawing his stupid little cardboard boxes and everything.
Right.
You showed up in your moment without, like, why would you wait? Like, if you this guy's smart and savvy, right? Like, sly like a fox. But forgot to pre-sign the contract.
He's everyone's dad and doesn't have a pen on him or anything like that. But you're not prepared to sign permission slips, Dad.
Right. But there you go. But yeah, that's it. That's the show. We will be here live on Saturday for it. Real quick, 58% of the chat went Moxley, 19 Jay White, 12 Page, 9 OC. Jay White going second. They're just wishful thinking.
New Japan.
Oh, maybe.
We have to admit that the New Japan influence does run heavy within AEW.
Dude. Yeah, right. But yeah, you're not wrong at all. But overall, I know we've had some criticisms of some stuff. I still am excited to see this show. We will be here live for it on Saturday.
I think I'm most excited to see the end of the Continental Classic, and that's not in a negative way. I've actually really kind of followed it this year as best as I can, and a lot of the matches have really been good. The Ricochet, I think it was Ospreay, and I can't remember the other one he faced last night on Dynamite. It was the opener, was excellent.
Brody King.
Brody King was excellent. So I'm actually looking forward to the ending of this to see how it all plays out.
Nice.
I would almost argue that this Continental Classic, if they had explained and we understood and it felt like if this was the debut of the Continental Classic, almost might have been better than the initial one.
Right.
Granted, we had Eddie, so I'll never say anything bad about Eddie Kingston. I think on paper, when it comes to this show, we've got a lineup of some really fantastic matches.
Yeah.
I think that the only detraction is we don't exactly, especially Anthony, don't know how we got here. And like with the MJF Adam Cole match, like I'm a MJF stan, and even I don't want to see this match anymore.
So
like,
sad.
just move the fuck on. I would rather see MJF versus we bring the boom fucking AJ than I would Adam Cole when it comes to this.
Fair enough. Now, a couple quick questions before we head towards the door.
Yes, sir.
One, a lot of people talking about Samoa Joe. Yay, nay? Could he return?
Where?
I don't know. I mean, again, with the natural spot with
Netflix, January 6th.
Oh man,
I would say nay because I don't know where you would put him right now.
Yeah, if anything, would he chase
versus Samoa Joe slaps? So,
what about the Gun Boys? Could they return? I don't know where they're at with their recovery, or at least one of them.
I didn't know they were on the bench. So get the fuck in the game, I guess.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Any other surprises? I know people still hoping for Shane McMahon. Not a thing. Anything else come to mind for you guys? Or, I mean, I think we're pretty straightforward.
I don't have anyone else in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, I still think you get Omega. If I think you get Omega and Okada that go face to face, I don't think you do it for a title. I especially don't want to see Kenny tied up in the Continental Classic because we don't even get the Continental Classic and we watch wrestling every fucking day. I want to see Kenny, and we've talked about this, of get him back more towards AEW, and it really, I want to see ultimately out of World's End, and especially the last back half of, we're going to get the final Rampage tomorrow night, by the way. Ever. Yeah. It's the end of the world as we know it. But
we will be here live.
I want to see AEW close out 2024 on the closest high note that they can to get a good launch into 2025.
So will this show under promise, over deliver, or over promise, under deliver? I'm hoping it under
the former versus the latter.
I hope it's the former. I really hope that it delivers.
Hopefully they can end the year on a high note. That would be great going towards their, new deal with Max and all of that stuff. So hopefully they can end the year on a high note and start Dynamite off January 1st with the big bang.
Absolutely.
No, well, they'd always lead in with a big bang before every Dynamite and everything like that. But no, I think that this is, the bar is here. So if you at least get here, we're not expecting here, but if you at least get here, you're doing all right.
All right. I kind of agree with that. I mean, I feel like our expectations are kind of low. And maybe MJF and Cole tear it down. Maybe a couple surprises along the way. But folks, that is our predictions. That is our preview. That is our coverage of World's End, at least heading into the show. We will be back Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Do not miss out. Saturday streams are always crazy here. And we're looking forward to this one. It's going to be a marathon, as Tony likes to keep us to the wee hours of the morning. But so much more coming your way, so make sure you're a part of it, including tomorrow night, SmackDown, Rampage, last Rampage ever, and so much more coming your way. But should be a good one, Anthony.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, and TNA, but TNA is still on their hiatus. I actually don't know when they come back with new episodes. But, yeah, TNA. I'm excited.
Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When you talking about that rest here, put up with that for life with it. Hey, it's been a couple days since I said it. I got to get back with it.
Right. Well, Merry Christmas again to everybody. Happy holidays. Come back tomorrow. See you on the flip side. Good night.